So I got scammed 2 days ago. The cunt scammed me, and Ivan chose the least worst option. He could have scammed me for $700, but instead I got scammed for $291. This is exactly what happened before the scam. It was a fucking job interview, in quotation marks, job interview. And anyway, this is the exact script. Okay, so what we do with this company all comes down to the concierge level of care and service that we provide our clients. Okay. On a daily basis, our clients reach out to us because they have transportation needs. We service their transportation needs. We fulfill their orders. We take care of all their logistics, make sure everything is taken care of, okay? I do want you guys to have a good understanding of the kind of clients that we deal with here at our company, so you get a better idea of what we're looking for out of the position we're hiring. So we classify our clients into 3 separate buckets. The first bucket of clients that we service are what we call leisure travelers. Leisure travelers are regular individuals like you and I that decide to go on a vacation, take a trip, go travel someplace. We service all their transportation needs here on a daily basis. And then we have our second bucket, which is the groups that we work with, right? Businesses, corporations. We do a lot of destination weddings. So we do a lot of corporate retreats for businesses. We also service destination weddings heavily. When a couple decides to get married in another destination, we gather their friends, family, relatives. We send them out to that area. We make sure their entire wedding is serviced with the venue, packages, transportation needs, everything and anything, okay? And then we have our last and final bucket of clients that we service, which are the celebrities that we work with. We work with celebrities here on a daily basis, and we service, private jets. We charter planes for them. We get them situated with yachts, Super Bowl tickets, whatever it is that they're looking for, We can also take care of, closing down hotels and restaurants if they're hosting some sort of an event or some kind. I think so you understand from what spectrum to what spectrum of clientele we work with and everything in between, okay? Now, a little bit more about our company guys, for the past 6 years, we haven't really hired any additional employees. The amount of staff that we have has been sufficient enough to really service all the clients that we have coming in and fulfill those orders. We do have a little over 500 employees at our firm, though in the last 2 years we've seen rapid growth within our firm, growth that's taken us to new heights we've never really seen before. So for the very first time in a very long period of time, we are actually understaffed today. Okay? And that is the reason why we are hiring. And as you realized, this is a group interview. We have a couple individuals here on this call, and the reason why that is because we are not hiring just one role within one position. We are hiring quite a few roles within the same position. Okay? We need to hire at scale, and that is why there's a few of you on this call here. Okay? Now, with that being said, the way that this is going to work is this is our one and only meeting and interview. Okay? Once we have gone through all of the information about this position towards the very end of this meeting is when we are going to start the hiring process. This is when we're going to start filling up the open roles that we have available. So please make sure you are attentive throughout the entire meeting, okay? Now, I do want to mention a few things prior to us getting into this interview, so we can kind of have the coast clear here. A few things so there's no misconceptions moving forward. Okay? First and foremost, everybody, we are not a recruitment firm. Okay? Number two, we are not a multi-level marketing company. This is not an MLM. Number three, this is not a sales position or a sales job by any means. And number four, this is not a business opportunity. It's not build your own business, work whenever you want type job. Okay? I want to make sure we clear the air here so there's no misconceptions moving forward in this meeting. Now, with that being said, the position that we're hiring for, guys, comes with two major responsibilities. The first is going to be administrative work, and the second will be customer service. Okay? We need more consultants at our company. We are hiring consultants. And in short words, what a consultant does here at our firm is they are in charge of fulfilling all the orders, ensuring all our clients are serviced, taking care of the logistics, email, chat, support, data entry. All of these tasks come with the responsibilities of our consultants. Okay? And we'll go over the list now together a little bit more in depth. But before I do that, please make sure you take out a piece of pen and paper. There are some note-taking that we have to do. There's important things. I would like to mention about the position that you need to write down, okay? So I'll give everyone a minute to do that. Do you have the pen and paper? I said, do you have the pen and paper? Okay. If you have a laptop or a computer in front of you and you prefer to write your notes down there, that's completely fine with me. Okay, and one more thing I will mention. Yes, we are in the travel industry, but this position does not require any sort of travel experience, background, or education. We are looking for individuals that can take on administrative duties along with customer service related tasks. Okay? Perfect. With that being said, let me go ahead and share my screen here so we can take a look at the responsibilities. And guys, we're located in Los Angeles, California. We've been here for the past 30 years. This is our headquarters. And let's move on to the position. All right. Sarah, this position is remote, work from home, okay? What does that mean? If you have somewhere in your home where it's not a noisy background that you can focus, that is all we require in terms of the position, okay? In terms of equipment, Alexander, we must have either a laptop or a computer for this job. Absolutely mandatory. All right. Now let's move on to the responsibilities here. So, Jennifer, let's take you for an example here, okay? Let's say we have a client. The client contacts us and they want to go on a vacation to Europe, right? They want to take their family on a nice little Europe vacation. Before we can help or assist this client, we must understand one thing, everybody. We are all different from each other, right? Our clients are also all different from one another. So that brings us to our first responsibility, which is provide exceptional customer service to our clients by understanding their needs and preferences. Okay, what does this mean? This means that we must know what our client wants, what they don't want, what they would like and not like for their vacation. How do we do that? We do that by asking good questions, okay? So there's 4 questions that we need to ask each and every one of our clients. Guys, we've been doing this for 30 years now, so please make sure we get these questions asked for our clients. Jessica, the first question that we must ask our client is, are you traveling for any particular occasion? Are you traveling for any particular occasion? Why do we ask this question? Because we know what kind of experience the client is looking for. Is it a honeymoon, an anniversary, a wedding, bachelorette trip, a family trip? Each and every one of these come with different experiences. We need to get a better idea of what that is for this client. Okay? And that brings us to our second question, which is going to be, do you want to fly economy or first class? Do you want to fly economy or first class? Alexander, we asked this question why? Because we have a lot of clients. They're on a budget. They're trying to save some money. They don't care where they sit on the plane. They're more than happy with an economy ticket. On the other hand, we have a lot of clients where they travel first class anywhere that they go. So we must make sure we service them with the first class tickets. Okay? And that brings us to our third question, which is going to be, do you want to stay at a 3, 4, or 5-star hotel? Do you want to stay at a 3, 4, or 5-star hotel? Kevin, why do we ask this question? Pretty self-explanatory. We have a lot of clients. They're on a budget, right? They don't really care to stay out of a fancy hotel when they're on vacation. They're more than happy with a 3-star option. On the other hand, we have a lot of clients where they always stay at the best of the best hotels, the most upscale hotels out there. The Ritz, Carlton's, Four Seasons, right? So we have to make sure we service each client accordingly. And that brings us to our fourth and final question, everybody. What's your budget? What's your budget? Every one of our clients, guys, knows what their budget is. Mind you, they've been saving for almost 1 year to finally take this vacation. They know however much it is that they're, willing to spend on this trip. So we must get a better idea of what that number is for them. Okay? Now, once we've gathered the answers to these questions, now we move on to our second responsibility, which is plan and arrange all aspects of travel. Okay? Guys, this is where we put the pieces of the puzzle together. This entire responsibility is 100% data entry work. All of here is going to be data entry. And let me show you how. Raise your hand if you've ever been on a flight before. I'm sure most of you have been on a flight before, right? Good. So if you've been on a flight, go ahead and answer this question for me. Is it okay if I go on deltaairlines.com and I go to book a ticket for myself? Is it okay if I accidentally misspell my first name or I misspell my last name on that ticket? And I could just show up to the airport, tell them I made a little typo, and get the boarding pass and board that plane? Is that fun? No, right? Absolutely not. Guys, we are in a very strict industry. We cannot make mistakes here, okay? That's very, very important to understand. So, when we do data entry, we always double and triple check our work here. Okay? What does that mean? We have all of our clients' passport copies. It is your duty to make sure you correctly copy the information from their passport and you put it into the ticketing reservation form. And we always double check to make sure we make no mistakes. Okay? Now, we always want to ask our clients if they need a car rental. This is because a lot of our clients, they travel domestically. They're going to Miami, Dallas, Chicago, New York, LA, and they always like to have a car with them. So make sure we always ask them if they need a car rental. The same thing applies to insurance. We always ask our clients if they need travel insurance. That is because a lot of them like to stay protected in case they get sick before they travel, or they lose their luggage, right? So many things can happen. They like to stay protected so they don't lose money in case of an emergency. So always make sure we also ask that question, okay? Now, Elizabeth, this responsibility is the most important responsibility of all. Ensure seamless and timely communication with clients. Okay, what does this mean? So let's just go ahead and say, I'll use you as an example, Elizabeth. Let's go ahead and say you we would love to have you at this company. We go ahead and hire you for this position and you start work at 9 a.m. Okay? If you start work at 9 a.m., you're going to have access to a CRM. Do you guys know what a CRM is? Okay, good. For those of you who don't know what that is, it's like a dashboard, a portal where you keep track of all the daily tasks that you have to complete. You keep track of all the clients that you're currently working on. All the work that you do here is going to be put in your CRM. And I can see that's how I see what level of work that you're doing, right? So you wake up, it's 9 a.m., you open up your laptop, you open up your CRM, and I assign you a client. If I assign you a client, that means you have to contact this client. Well, guys, if I assign you a client, are you going to contact this client 3 hours later? No, right? Absolutely not. Good. Every client must be contacted within 20 minutes. Please write that down, everybody. Every client must be contacted within 20 minutes. Rachel, that's very important. Why? Why are we so strict with this 20-minute timeline? That is because we need to understand we are not customer service here. We are concierge, okay? And there's a big difference between the two. Customer service is when you call on Amazon because your order is late, right? When you call the Wi-Fi provider because your Wi-Fi is down, or you call your credit card company just to review a card or something, right? That's customer service. And let's be very honest with each other. Every time I get on the phone with customer service representatives, half the time I get irritated because they're putting me on hold. They're not really answering my questions. There's always this runaround. Sometimes there's a language barrier. We don't really understand what's going on. We can't really understand each other. And that is a problem.